the morning that I saw my friend Evan Williams, one of the founders of Twitter, on the cover of the Wall Street Journal, the morning of their IPO, with the number $4.3 billion under his face, which was the amount he had earned that day, I thought to myself, this guy's fucked. And I thought that out of love, I meant that. Here's a guy, he disrupted journalism with Blogger, disrupted communications with Twitter, and took that all that energy and this great, I mean, you guys know Twitter, it's a messaging app, right? Sends out 140 character messages to people, yeah. To take all the potential disruption of that and turn it over to the biggest, baddest industry in the land, right, which is Wall Street. You know, when they let you ring the opening bell at the stock exchange and applaud for you, it's not because you're disrupting something. Right? It's because you're confirming the role of VC, of capital, to the entire, to all of human affairs. You know, and sure enough, you know, Twitter, poor little company, it makes $500 million a quarter now in revenue, or $2 billion a year. Now, if I went to my mom and said, I created an app that delivers 140 character messages to people, and we make about $2 billion a year, she'd be really happy, right? Wall Street's really unhappy, right? Twitter is now considered unanimously, it's an abject failure. But the reason why Twitter is a failure is because it turns out $2 billion is about all you can make off a 140 character messaging app. That's about it. But there's no place for a company for which its revenue model is that's about it. Right? There is no sustainable revenue model in the digital economy today. No, the digital economy instead is based on growth. You have to grow your company. You can't create value for people in some circulatory utopian fantasy where you're selling goods and services at a profit and then people buy them and then they like them and do well and create value for themselves so they have more money so they can buy more stuff from you. That's not the way business works anymore. No, business, the operating system of business is grow, and you grow by extracting value from people. Right? We're going to hear, I guess, from Uber later today, but what is the Uber model, really? Is Uber looking at the taxi business and saying, we want to create a great, thriving, sustainable taxi industry and really get all these drivers doing well and passenger and keep that going for as long as possible? No, Uber is taking a huge amount of capital, a war chest, as it's called in the industry, and using that to undercut all the other taxi businesses around to establish what's known as a platform monopoly. Right? If it gets a monopoly in taxis, then it can leverage that monopoly to move into what's called another vertical, right? Like drone delivery or logistics or something else. The drivers of Uber are the R&D department doing the R&D for the robots that will replace them. You know, look at the successful digital business. Look at Amazon. Did Amazon go into books because Bezos just loved books? Oh my God, I love books. I want to help authors make more money. I want to help publishers make more money. Book binders, everybody in the book industry, just going to do well and have this great literate society. No. He chose books because it was low-hanging fruit. Believe me, I've been in the book business since before Amazon. Book business sucks. You know, it's wonderful, but we're just limping along a non-growth, barely sustainable, fudge the margins a little bit to get another mid-list title. The whole thing was just a creaky little wink, wink, nudge, nudge, but yeah, we still get books out of it kind of industry. He chose books because that was the easiest industry in which to establish a platform monopoly, and from that monopoly then leverage into retail and drones also, and cloud services and everything else. Right? Now this is the growth-based operating system of venture capital, of business, of capitalism as we know it. And it's accepted oddly enough, it's accepted by digital people, hacker mentality people who are willing to disrupt anything. It's accepted by them as a condition of nature. This is just the way things are. This is just how business works, right? It's this extractive thing. Right? The problem with this extractive model is you end up bankrupting the markets on which your company is depending to sustain itself. That's the big problem. It's the Walmart problem. Walmart moves into a community or a town or someplace. They move in there. They undercut all the local retailers. Then everyone has to go work for Walmart because it's the only employer left. So Walmart has freedom to hire everyone part-time, put them all in the welfare rolls, and have to get their medical stuff from the government until the town goes bankrupt, which is what's happening now. It takes 20 or 30 years, and then the place where Walmart operates runs out of money. Walmart has to close and move to another town. That's the extractive model. Now, what about when Amazon does that, when Uber does that, when a digital company does that? It just happens a whole lot faster, and everybody runs out of money. Now, this is a problem that has plagued corporate America for 75 years. Deloitte came out with something called the Shift Index in 2011, where they showed beyond any doubt that corporate profit over corporate size has been going down for 75 years. That means corporations are really good at taking all the money off the table, but really bad at deploying that money once they have it. It's a kind of a cash obesity, where they store the money in fat, but not in muscle. But when digital businesses do that, it's steroidal, right? They just suck all the money out of a marketplace and then it's gone. And if we're actually able to see that as digital people, we should be able to do something else. Right now, we come up with a great idea, we go to the angel or the venture capitalist, they give us money, and then what do? We pivot. What does pivot mean? It means leave the sustainable great idea you had and go do something that lets you sell your business in 18 to 24 months. And the way you sell your business is by extracting money from a marketplace and showing that you can grow into some ridiculous unicorn. Where what I'm offering, and I wrote a book that, yes, I am selling. I wrote a book that I am selling. Selling it for more than it cost me to write it. That's the idea. It's profit. And what I'm offering you is the chance not to be a billionaire, but to be a millionaire. Right? So my idea is, rather than getting $1 billion so that you have enough money to insulate yourself and your family from reality, just earn some millions of dollars, but get to live in a world where you don't feel the need to insulate yourself from it. Or you don't end up in that ridiculous Zuckerberg position where you've taken $50 billion and then you're going to dedicate the rest of your life to paying it back. If you're going to pay back 95% of the money you've earned, it's because you've taken too much to begin with. You can't just stuff it back into the economy in the appropriate places. Now, what I'm arguing we do, and there's ways to get really rich doing this, is to develop businesses that work less by growth than by flow. So rather than optimizing for the extraction of capital from a community and its storage in share price, what you can do is optimize your business for the velocity of money and the velocity of transactions through a community. The rule of thumb I would use, the sort of the mantra, if you need one, because no one reads whole books anymore, the 3 words would be, make them rich. Think about, how can you make your users rich? Why doesn't YouTube give 1/2 the money of ad revenue to the people who made the videos? Easy. Why doesn't Uber take 10% of its shares and distribute it to the workers and create a platform cooperative rather than a platform monopoly? These are not rocket science. All you have to do is, in every design decision you make, every business decision you make, every interface decision you make, every process decision you make, think about, how does this help the user create value? How does it help the user create and circulate value? Because once you're thinking that way, you're no longer stuck in the industrial age mandate of extracting value, colonizing a new region, and then moving on and leaving devastation in your wake. Instead, you've adopted the digital networked mentality of, we are all in this together, everything is connected to everything else. You can't externalize loss to someone else without killing the market on which you depend. All right, so let's talk. I'm around. I'll be upstairs. Thanks a lot.
you.